All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kenneth Giri, and this is the Truth Interviews. Today, we're going to be talking to two incredible trailblazers in the world of small business. We're going to be talking to Freda Tanyo, who spearheaded artsafric.com, an arts collection selling platform, and she's also manager at the Wakati Beach Resort in Keta. And we're going to be talking to her today about digitalization, adopting digital approaches to business, and how she survived the 2020 pandemic. We're also going to be talking to Mr. Tony Fesu, the champion at eduaso.com. He's a technology leader who is working on this e-commerce platform that has been around for quite a while and that has, in a sense, elevated its game in the advent of COVID-19, which changed the way 2020 turned out for us. So we're going to just have them show up on the screen now. Thank you, Tony, for joining us. Thank you, Freda. We also have an internal audience, and they will be able to contribute to the conversation at some point during this call. So we're going to go ahead and start by asking the guests to just tell us a little bit about themselves. Freda, are you there with us? I would have loved to start with Freda, but maybe there's a few connection issues. So let me just give the opportunity to Mr. Tony Fesu. I hope I got that pronunciation right. And I'll ask you to just start by telling us a bit about yourself, what you do, and about Eduaso, your company. Everybody tells me I don't pronounce it right, but I mean, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kenneth. I think that the name is Eduaso, which essentially means marketplace. It comes from a local language in Ghana, which is Akan. When you get to our airport, you see written over there Akwaba. So Akwaba means welcome. Eduaso means marketplace.
Yes.
Yeah. So just a little bit about myself. I've been in technology for quite some time now. I've been here more than 15, 16 years. Started very early in my life, even before finishing school and then working for different organizations and still feeling that I'm just getting started. So I've done a little bit of work in corporate organizations as well as on the side. We still influence small businesses, and I'm sure a lot of people who are on the call would identify with this same kind of trend with we technology people. Either your church needs you or your friends need you to fix one thing or the other. I mean,
exactly.
Once you are in technology, it's part and parcel of you, and it's something that you would have to do. So I'll just say that with the Eduaso initiative, we seek to influence positively organizations and clients and try to solve some of the problems in the marketplace. And that's what gave birth to Eduaso. So, Ken, I think we'll have a lovely discussion.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. So I'll turn over to Freda and I'll ask you about the same question. We'd like to know a little bit more about you and about Arts Afrique. Yeah, what you're doing currently. Please go ahead, Freda. Hello, Freda. Can you go ahead? Can you hear us? Okay, I think Freda is also having some challenges with the network right now. So can you hear us, Freda? All right. Okay, so Tony, what inspired the launch of Eduaso as a platform, as a company in the history of it? Tell us about that a bit.
Right. Okay. So, Ken, I just want to say that for us, we didn't see ourselves as a company. We just seeked out to solve a problem in the marketplace. And you know that trade is one of the things that drives every organization or every economy, if I should put it that way, where we have people who are looking for things to buy, and then at the same time, people who sell things and are looking for buyers to buy them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with our experience in technology, and also with a spirit of problem solving, we said to ourselves that how do we, reduce the friction that's within the marketplace, where people take a lot of time to find things. And this is pre-COVID time, and this is
Yeah.
somewhere around 2009, there about early 2010, where a lot of people were, in fact, smartphone penetration in the country was so low,
Mm-hmm.
internet penetration was so low, and it was basically a new concept. I remember asking my mother if she would ever buy a tomato online, and she was like, "What is online?" And she's definitely not going to. She
Yeah.
needs to hold it, feel it, talk to
Yeah.
the seller before making that purchase. So we didn't start off as a company, really.
Mm-hmm.
We started off as solving this problem. And
This
so
basic
as
problem.
as we went on, of course, you see that other people or other organizations that are coming into the Ghana market and also trying to solve the same problem. And because we didn't start as a company, and we didn't feel that we definitely needed to compete with people, we just said to ourselves that, okay, let others take the lead, we will follow suit. I think our competitive advantage will be the value that we offer to our customers. And I tell my team all the time, there is Toyota, there is Benz, and then currently there is Hyundai, and even now Tesla coming in. So for every product that goes into the marketplace, there certainly is a place for it, as long as you are providing value to your customers. Ken.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. There is a place for each one of us, and I think you've come a long way. So, if you let's dig deeper into that a bit. In your experience, you've mentioned one of the nuances of running an online business, which means how is the adoption among the people who maybe are not used to technology. So tell us a little more about that. What kind of challenges do you experience launching this kind of business in our terrain in terms of payment options, internet penetration, delivery, and so on and so forth?
Yeah. So Ken, like I said, we started way back in late 2008, early 2009, then to 2010.
Yeah.
And I must say that it's not about running an online business, but it's about running business in general in this part of the world. So there is an opportunity where infrastructure is not existing. But if I fast forward to this current age, you see that the infrastructure is more or less available to a large extent. It's just a little bit of tweaks there, here and there, and for customers to start adopting it, for you to start reaching the targets that you are expecting to reach. So initially, our biggest headache, and being a JASO, by the way, we don't hold stock. We work with merchants, and so these merchants have the stock. We provide a technology platform. The merchants, we help the merchants to put their product on the platform, and then we do the marketing as well to customers who are mainly online, and to be able to get the product. So you can see that with our platform, we have taken out the friction where the merchants are going to struggle to have a place where they'll put their products. And then also we've taken out the friction for the buyers also, who are looking for things and probably are online. So in the beginning, in the early stages, I must be honest with you, the merchants didn't want to put their things online for fear
Yeah.
of they couldn't, they didn't have ERPs, their products were not named, they didn't have inventories of their product. I mean, there were 1,001 issues on the merchant side, the stock availability, shipments, all these were problems that needed to be fixed. But like I told you earlier on, when you start something like a JASO, and you are not necessarily starting it as as something to make profit in year 1, year 2, year 3 because of the environment which you find yourself in, you are more than excited to see or to be part of the solution in solving the problem. So we solved some of these problems for the merchants. So we decided to partner with a number of organizations to do the deliveries. So we even partnered with them, with some motorbike riders who were not very formalized at the time. They were
Yeah.
just on the street. We met them. We had their phone numbers, and depending on the area which the merchant was at, we got phone numbers of delivery people over there. Then for international deliveries, we partnered with first we partnered with Ghana Post.
Okay.
We partnered with Ghana Post, and then we also partnered with DHL to do international deliveries. And
Wow.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's been one step at a time, one problem at a time, fixing it and then getting there and growing with the market. Because honestly speaking, the market today is all online, and well, I would say thanks to COVID,
Mm.
we have gradually gravitated from doing everything. Initially I would have said we were doing 1% to 9% in terms of the
Yeah.
physical to online ratio, but now I would argue that we've gotten close to 30% or 40% um, um, online transactions, and it keeps growing. And as we come up with more exciting things that the customers are looking for, or the consumer population is looking for, surely I'm sure we would be able to throughout, become more successful in what we are doing.
Great, great, great. I'm particularly impressed that you talk about delivering internationally, because what
Yeah,
you're doing is bridging a gap between, even if someone is producing something behind his house, you're
yeah.
giving the person a platform to give it to the world, basically, right?
Well, I'll give you a good example. So I went for, and so we typically get our merchants from trade fairs. So we take advantage of any trade fair that is being organized. So I remember Joy FM organized the trade fair. I attended the trade fair not to go and buy, but to see how I can enable this trade fair to go beyond just the physical trade fair happening in Accra.
Mhm.
And there was this lady who came from Tumu in the northern region. And if you know where Tumu
Mhm.
is, if I'll describe it, from Kumasi you get to Tamale, from Tamale you get to Bolga, and Bolga getting very close to the Burkina Faso border. It's a village over there called Tumu. And this
Mhm.
lady producing shea butter and was looking for market, and hence she had come to Accra to sell at the Joy FM show trade fair. So
Mm.
once I met her, I looked at her product. It looked very good. The packaging was not very right. So I discussed with her how we could put this on the Jasso and start selling it internationally. And to my amazement, we
Mm.
got a lot of traffic from East Africa,
Wow.
from Kenya and
Wow.
from Rwanda. And people, I mean, she was literally blown away. We sold
Like a
close
quantum leap, eh?
Yeah. We sold close to about 18 barrels
Wow.
18 barrels of shea butter within a space of close 7 to 8 months.
Mm.
And that was just amazing. And in fact, the delivery companies don't really care or who is buying. All they want is to be able to send an item from one place to the other. And what's amazing is that things that we have in Africa, like a fugu, like gari, like things,
Mm.
there's more likely of those items being purchased within Africa than outside Africa.
Mm.
And well, in my experience, I'll say that even though regulations could have made this a little bit better, I'll
Mhm.
say that you don't really need regulations to start anything. Just
Wow.
start until you are told to stop. Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just start. Don't complain about anything. Just start. Just keep it going, one step at a time, one step at a time, and you definitely get there. And I must say that it's been phenomenal. And I mean, I'm happy Freda is on the call. We are even, we sell some artwork as well. So we have a
Mhm.
couple of categories, and it's been phenomenal. I
Wow.
must say.
Wow. Beautiful.
So I mean,
I mean, this is like so inspiring, and what
yeah,
is doing is saying there is an opportunity for anyone who is doing something valuable to basically plug in to the global market through online selling. Thank you for that. We shall come back to you to talk more about how you navigated COVID. Yes,
Yeah.
how you navigated COVID. So I'm just going to, I want to turn back to Freda to tell us a little bit about herself. Oh, she's gone off again. I'm sorry about that, people. All right, so we're going to take a short break and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about how you navigated COVID. And we can also listen to Freda's part of the story. Thank you, Eben, for joining us. Thank you, Senam, for joining us. Glad to have you here. So we'll just take a quick message and then we will come back shortly.
Are you a young leader, a young entrepreneur, or a young creative? Are you ready to rise up to greatness through education, entertainment, business, and networking? Are you ready to go? Dubai awaits you for an experience of a lifetime. Join us for the biggest global youth conference from the 12th to 18th July 2021. With the goodwill of the United Arab Emirates government, we gather as a movement to refresh, re-strategize, and research the agenda. We engage under the theme Youth Integration for Development, Challenges and Opportunities. We shall be celebrating success, highlighting the challenges, identifying and exploring opportunities. And for the highlights of the conference, enjoy an exclusive feeling of the ballroom, a tour of the prestigious Dubai city, dinner at the yacht, and a safari in the Dubai desert. We are ready to rise up. We are ready to go because the time is now. Don't be left out. To register, visit youthglobal.com/Dubai-events. Proudly brought to you by Youth Up Global and the UAE government.
Thank you very much for that. That was from Youth Up Global. And we're going to be going to Dubai this year to launch the organization. So stay connected to stay informed. All right, we have Freda back, and I'm just going to ask Freda quickly to tell us a bit more about herself and her product and her platform selling art. Freda Tanyo, you have the floor. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. I think her location is a little bit of a challenge. So I hope we do get to have her speak within this period. So we'll come back to Tony and we'll want to talk about COVID-19. 2020 was, I say, one of the significant years in this century. Those kind of things, I hear that happen once in the century. So, I mean, it was incredible and many businesses suffered. So tell us how COVID-19 impacted you and how you responded to this impact. Please take the floor.
Right. So, Ken, I mean, like, just so it's not my, like I said earlier on, it's not my first work. It's an effort that we've been putting together whilst we are working at other places and influencing organizations digitally. So COVID struck and everybody had to re-strategize. So interestingly enough, we started getting a lot of people who felt that they needed to get customers. One of the main people who were hit by COVID negatively was the hospitality industry. The people who had restaurants and people who had, tourist places were hit very hard. I mean, mainly because before COVID, they were mainly an in-shop and in physical presence kind of business. Mm-hmm. And so it became a big deal to them to be able to engage customers. And especially since they did not have a lot of customers who engage them digitally, it became a huge challenge. Yep. So luckily enough, I managed to speak to two of such merchants. One who supplies palm wine, our local palm wine, and then also one who has a restaurant. And in discussion with them and everybody lamenting, I said, hang on, we could actually use my platform, Ejaso, to engage your customers. Customers only need to order their product online, the food online, pay for it, and then we can have it delivered to them.
Yeah.
And so we went about trying this concept out. So we put all the food, all the menus online, and then also by digitizing the restaurants, now we had opportunity to do a lot more things with them. So instead of it just being a restaurant where you buy food and take in, you buy just a plate of food. Now we had opportunity to, enable people to buy a bowl of soup. So you could actually buy a bowl of soup, or you could actually buy a bowl of Ghanaian jollof, not Nigerian jollof. And this was phenomenal because a lot of people were home. They couldn't go out. A lot of them, and in Ghana, a lot of people who cook are their mothers were very frustrated with cooking and things. And once we started marketing online, we noticed that we had a huge number of people ordering for soups and ordering for a bowl of rice for a family of 5, a family of 6, and things. And so it made us realize that we, even though there was COVID, we didn't have to shut down those restaurants or sit idle we could still engage with customers, and all customers wanted is their food delivered to them. And so that's how we navigated through the COVID period with the restaurant and then the palm wine sellers. So it was just amazing how people went onto ejasu.com and then just booked their food, and then they had their food delivered to them at home, and they didn't even have to cook, because you remember that parents were now having to juggle between doing their house chores, doing office chores, and then also taking care of the family all at home. And so taking out this burden of cooking from the parents was just something that to be honest with you, feel that brought a lot of positive impact to communities, and those who patronized our services. And that was how we navigated through COVID. So I kept saying that to everybody that COVID came up, we found out that we could even bundle food services differently. And what else can't we do differently? And I'll tell you about what we did recently, even post COVID, or even whilst COVID is going on. So this year's Mother's Day, for instance, because we had leveraged on the experience of the restaurant chains, we decided to organize what we called Mother's Day event at one of our event places. But then all the tickets and all the food that needs to be purchased over there would all be done online. To our amazement, we had over 150 people buying, products and services for the Mother's Day. And on that day, everybody just converged at the events ground, and they had already bought their items, so they were just served their food. And I mean, I said to myself, wow, so online really, really, really works. So because we just published it online, and we just got people buying and people patronizing the restaurant and the event grounds and things like this. So I would say for a fact that it's doable. I mean, it's limitless. I mean, the use cases or the things we can do with digital through this should I call it experiment or this audacity to try it out has just opened my eyes to amazing opportunities. And I think that big organizations who have the budget, who have the resources to get these things into our lives should invest in it and reach out to experts who can help them translate their, should I say, current strategy into digital strategy, and then we can all get more out of it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I have a question here. We're going to come back to answering it. I'll just display it. We're going to come back to answering it, but I want to first of all hear from Freda. You tell us a bit about yourself, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you're incorporating digital in artsofreak.com. Freda, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, great.
Okay, so my name is Frida. Artofreak.com is an art and craft platform. So let me just share a little bit history on how it started. I was watching a documentary, and um, the chairman for art for a craft village was calling on the government to provide a website for art and craft so that people will be able to reach them easily. That was in 2019. And when I watched the documentary, it resonated with me because I grew up in Nigeria. I used to come to Ghana for holidays, and trying to get this item for friends back in Nigeria was not easy. At that time, I think I didn't even know art center existed. And so when the man said that they needed that website so that they'll be able to reach a wider reach, I was like, okay, why don't I come in and assist? And so that was when it began. That was 2019 before the return. And then I started, but then because I was working in at the time, I didn't have enough time to read it. But towards when the COVID thing came on, I started pushing, and then I noticed a trend that people who were in the town, people who were in the city were able to promote their items online, were promoting everything, virtually everything. And then I was like, no, the tourism industry has been greatly affected. And the people who these foreigners come to see are in the interior village. And these people do not have the facility or the technical know-how to sell online. Why don't I go around and bring them on board and serve like the middle person so that someone who comes to Ghana, a tourist who comes to Ghana to have fun, might not necessarily need to go to a center to buy this item. Just come on my site. Because a lot of time when they come, they have limited time. Now that's for that. And then for someone who is outside the country,
Okay. That I think we had quite a lot from Frida on that, and what I want to point out is Eben asked the question how. Let me just display Eben's question again. Eben asked a question on how
can you hear me?
these efforts. Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello?
I was just hanging in for you. Can you hear us?
Oh,
Sorry about that. Yes, there was an interesting question from Eben. I'll just talk about that while your signal is restored. You see, he said, how did your enterprise, directing at Tony, support small businesses working in Ghana? And Tony, I remember Tony told the story of a northerner who was producing shea butter. And in 8 months, if I'm not mistaken, they were able to sell 8 barrels of shea butter on Ejuaso to people in other countries, in Rwanda, in East Africa, over online. This is something that she could never have imagined. You understand? She could never have imagined that this was possible to make such sales, to sell to people outside the country, if it was not for a digital platform like Ejuaso. And she just that is one of the benefits, one of those incredible benefits of doing this kind of platform. And Freda also talked about her model. Her model is essentially about taking the products of those in the rural areas who don't have internet, who don't know what e-commerce is, taking their products, becoming the middleman, the person helping them to get visibility because their products have good enough quality to get visible. Yes. So Freda is back. Hello. Can you hear us now?
yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Go
village,
ahead. No
so
problem.
pardon me.
No problem. Yeah, she's in her workplace in the village. Yeah, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Tony, can you hear me?
Absolutely, you're loud and clear.
I can hear you.
Okay. So speak. Just go ahead and speak. We
Oh,
can hear you. There may be a little bit of a delay, but you can speak. We can hear you. We can actually see you shaking your head. Don't worry. Okay. Maybe she's lost the connection again. So I'm going to come back to Tony, and we're going to hone in on COVID. And again, and I like the example that Tony has given about food businesses, because a lot of them were impacted during that year. So I'd like to ask Tony to tell us a little bit about that in the context of people who might have failed. Can you give us one or two examples of the kind of business that failed and what they could have done to stay in business? Tony?
Okay, so Ken, so with that example, it tells you that there is a way. So there's a way we at Ejaso helped small businesses, yeah. And like I always say, it's not the only way. I see that online and on Instagram today, a lot more people are posting items and trying to sell online, put their phone numbers over there, and they get customers hitting them up, and calling them. And so that is also another model or another way of selling online. What's amazing about doing it with us at Tejaso is that we are, the entire customer experience from or customer journey from purchasing the item, coming onto the platform, and buying the item, and the item being shipped to you is all logged on our platform. And so what this means is that if you are a merchant and you really want to have data, have insights about who is buying from you, and knowing how it is bought for you, you will not just post your items on Facebook and on Instagram. And I keep saying that posting it on Instagram is good, but then it could be better. You could do it a little bit more if you had a platform that is keeping the customer information. Even you are able to calculate your ARPU, and be able to see how your sales are going on. And because all our transactions go into the bank, we are also able to have a banking footprint to be able to tell you how commercially viable that particular business is on our platform. And so online, doing business online is good. You would get it done. As far as a small business, you can decide to start by posting your items on online to create awareness, or to create awareness with people. I think that that is just the first step, and I think that we should not stay too long at that first step. Post your items online and get the likes, but the likes and the views is not equal to revenue. Yeah. And so you can have 1 million likes and 1 million views, and it may not translate into revenue. If you partnered with a Jaso, for instance, would give you a link which you can embed on that image that you're posting online. And what happens is that when customers click on that image, they get the opportunity to buy the item, and the item will be delivered to them. And let me just say that we didn't only help small businesses. We dared ourselves and ventured into a little partnership with Unilever Ghana, and so we have Unilever items on Ejaso today. And before that, they had a lot of views that they were posting things online, just creating awareness, just like how it's been done today. But now we have our link embedded under those links, and what that is creating is that it's creating a lot of sales both locally and internationally. And also, I must say that you can go to a shop, not find an item over there, but then that stock might be somewhere because the item is on Ejaso. Once you purchase that item on Ejaso, you can have it delivered to you anywhere that you want. So for small businesses, I would say that the first step is to start posting online and start showing it to people, showing what you have. But then what would be the icing on the cake is when you are able to get your customers to buy that item. And I mean, not just by calling you, yes. Because if it's only about calling you, then people in other countries or who are very far away will be disenfranchised. You need to embed a link that people can actually go to the customer journey of purchasing online, and then you can delight your customer from that place. Ken.
All right, great. So thank you for that. We're going to come back to you more on the process that of making a purchase end to end. I mean, briefly, the customer journey. Now, I want to come back to Freda and just allow her to talk to us more about that on her side as well. If somebody comes to your platform, artsafrique.com, what happens and how do they eventually get their product delivered to them? Freda first. Freda's connection is again, so we'll try to get her back. So while at that, I'll just do a quick, we'll just, do a quick advert.
Everybody to the dance floor.
This is a dangerous group. The groups that we're dealing with now.
Come on, we go to the beat, yo.
Killers, you know us well, we're SOL, so we be the illest. With the mic in our hands, we feel like Moses taking y'all up to the promised land. We come through strictly giving us praise.
All right, thank you for that. Yes.
Ken,
we're back.
Please.
All right.
I don't understand the network today.
Okay, no problem. So let's quickly hear. We really want to hear from you. So just go ahead and tell us more about how the customer journey happens on Artsafrique.
Okay, so when you sign up on the platform allows vendors to sign up and post their items, and that's for free. But then when you're able to sell something successfully on the site, we as Afrique get 10% of any item that is sold on the site. So basically, it's like we are helping you reach out more to a broader market. Yes. So that's it.
Okay, great. Okay, so what about those, like you said, from the villages who they don't even have a computer? I remember you do some legwork for them, right?
Yes. So when I started, after the site was ready, and I was telling people in Accra that please sign up, I have this, and everybody was excited. Oh, it's nice. But then the Accra vendors, the literate vendors were not signing up. And I was like, so what can I do to salvage this situation? And so when I was going through social media and I saw that everybody, the people were posting, I was like, no, the people in the villages that these foreigners come to visit, they are greatly affected. Why not I go to them? I'm a professional photographer, so take the pictures, get their details, and post it for them. And so that was how I started traveling from one remote village to another. And I must say, it has been an interesting experience. And so I had to post everything, like post it myself, get their details, go around the country. And so, yes, so far, so good. So far, so good. So that was how.
That's absolutely awesome. Go ahead, Tony. You want to say something on that?
I think I'm super excited that Freda is doing a lot of legwork, and in our experience, like I always say, we ended up having to engage the customers the way the customers want to be engaged, and I call that customer experience. If the customers who would buy from you or who would have to post their items on your site don't want to come to your site, you need to do the legwork. It may not be sustainable from the beginning, but you need to do the unsustainable things to be able to do the sustainable things. And for us at Ejaso, we are more than excited to even partner with existing brands. And like I mentioned earlier on, there is Toyota, there is Benz, there is Hyundai, and now there's Tesla. So I don't think that in a very green market that we have in Africa, we should start talking about competition and competitors and trying to outdo each other or undermine each other in this thing. I think that digital reduces the cost of operations, the cost of doing business. It reduces the friction in the customers getting the items that you get. And so because we want to generally contribute to the success of organizations and our customers, we have to technically work together to push these services across, especially our market in Africa, and that would that's what would make us get to that place. I mentioned earlier on that we didn't start off as a company. I told my team that Ejaso is a movement. It's a movement, and you'd have to join the movement. And when you join a movement, you are passionate about the movement, and if you feel that there are things that you need to do to get the movement going, you will definitely go it. So we literally self-learned and self-taught ourselves a lot of things to be able to get the number of customers that are hitting our platforms today, and we leverage on a lot of free things that are online, like LinkedIn tools and Facebook advertisement tools, learning and doing everything we can do to get a lot of customers online. So Frida, I think it's a good, fantastic job you are doing out there, and I look forward to partnering with you to do more things.
Beautiful. That's lovely, 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 lovely. Freda is up again. Freda, when she comes back, I'll quickly have her tell us about her venture into virtual reality. Sounds incredible, right? So I hope you will come back to tell us a little bit about that. So in the meantime, I'm going to just I'll play another clip. Sorry, I'm playing a lot of clips today, but I mean, it's all for the good. We're supporting businesses, and one of the businesses we're supporting is doing something incredible on YouTube, and I would just like to highlight that in this clip.
Hello, and welcome to another interesting time on Life Point with UC. On today's episode,
we're discussing a value that is of interest to anyone who wants to be outstanding or who wants to be set apart from the rest. It's on this note that we have decided to bring you this particular value that will set you apart.
Papa, thank you. Oluwana go tell. Yemi
and I have decided to target beyond I am sorry. Have you ever been in a corner where you have rendered all the apology you know how to do?
It's supposed to drop. It's supposed to go chill. It's supposed to dance. It's supposed to rock. It's supposed to
boundaries. And so, are there types of boundaries? Is important. Are they necessary? We shall be taking you in this episode. Boundaries are off limits, dividing lines.
Okay, that was a little clip from Life Points with UC. She basically helps people simplify conversations with themselves and with other people. So Frida is back. So I'm going to ask Frida to tell us about her journey, her attempts to incorporate virtual reality in her business. Frida, can you hear us?
Yeah. So yes, I can hear you. So apart from selling this thing, the items on the site and making it easier for people within Ghana, within Africa, and across the world to buy art and craft from me, and I forgot to add, the mission is to become a one-stop shop for African art and craft. Yes. So I decided. I think I was there, and then one Mr. Igiri sent me a link, a TED Talk show link on virtual reality, and I was like, wow, what's this about? And it was new, but then apparently that video, which was sent to me like I think 2 months ago, was talked about in I think 6 years ago. So I was interested. I was really like, it made my day. I said, this is great. I would incorporate it on the site. The plan is to have now what is the idea is to have like 10 museums, most visited museums in Africa, incorporate their videos on the site, and also I'm hoping that we have a museum in Ghana. So now this the website, when the video, sorry, I'm trying to get my words. So yes, so this yes, so we are going to go around and get videos from starting from 10 most visited museums in Africa. So it will be incorporated on the site, and then you can subscribe and watch with your headset from anywhere in the world. So instead of coming to Africa to visit maybe a museum in Edo State, you can just subscribe to maybe pay $100 or so, and go through and have the experience. Augmented reality and virtual reality gives you a feel of being present in the place, and so you have the feel of of the items. You see it, you just immerse yourself in that reality. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, good. So how is this going with you currently?
Currently, I've gotten a team. One Mr. Solomon, who is we're getting a team. So it's still in the planning process. That's what I should say. It's still in the planning process because it entails a lot, and currently everything is coming from my pocket, so it's not that easy. So yeah, we are working.
Do you have
on
a crowdfunding plan?
Pardon?
Do you have a crowdfunding plan?
No, I don't.
Okay. Maybe that will come later. So go ahead, tell us a little bit more about that, and then
and
about your site as well.
Okay. So when you say that the plan is to go around these visited museums and get the 3D videos and incorporate it on the site. And so when a customer who has the device, the headset, the virtual reality headset, plugs in, probably subscribe to go into 5 museums in Africa or even the entire package, then you pay, and then you are allowed to view it. Currently a lot of the Western world are returning the artifacts to African countries. So now we don't need to have artifacts as Africa. All we need is to get these videos from visiting these different rich museums and getting it on the site, getting that certificate on our museum. So you just come, or you are anywhere in Europe, US, wherever, you just immerse yourself and feel how it is. Now, understand that some people, when it comes to Africa, have a feel of like going to the market, right? You want to go to the market to know how market interaction is. And so we also have that where the video of market interaction is there. So if you want to have that feel of when you went to how to buy art or how to bargain in the market, you would also you pay for that
experience. Okay. Wow. Okay. Great. I think it sounds like interesting times are ahead for artsofreak.com. All right. So once again, the link has broken again. So I'll come back to Tony and I'll ask Tony to tell us exactly why anyone should patronize Ejoaso. So just give you a few minutes to tell us that punchline.
Okay, so Ken, before I go to that question, I just want to say that virtual reality is something that is coming, or it's already here. and it affords us or affords the customers the opportunity to walk through the platform as though they were in a physical shop. Today, you would need a phone, you would need a laptop or one of the digital devices to be able to navigate through the items that has to be purchased. You'd agree with me that it doesn't feel as natural as you would want it to be. You would want to be walking through the shop, pick this item,
Yeah.
pick that item, and then interact with the salesperson that speaks to you and things like that. And that's what I see the VR going to bring to us. So I think that is going to be particularly awesome to have customers interact with our platforms in that VR model way. And I think that Frida, because her focus is on tourism and art, is going to really transform that space of things and make customers really enjoy themselves like as though they were at a physical place, because there's a difference in seeing the pictures versus seeing the artwork themselves as though you were there. So if I was circle back to the question you asked, like I said earlier on, there are two types of customers that we are dealing with, or our customers. We deal with merchants, and then we also deal with end customers who buy items. So a lot of the items that we have on the platform are items that our merchants are selling. So if you're a merchant and you really want to sell online, and you've done the Facebook ads and gotten your likes and things, but then you still want to have things transformed, you just have to send us an email at customersuccess@sikatrader.com. That's customersuccess@sikatrader.com to be able to have an interaction with our team. And because of fraud and ensuring that the items that are displayed online are available, we have a very strict process to ensure that we get those items available before we list them on the platform. And so you can see that we have quite some list of items that are available on the platform. And so if you are a merchant and you really want to sell on our platform, just reach us out at customersuccess@sikatrader.com, and we will be able to engage you online. Now, if you're a customer, and especially so over the few months when schools have started, we've seen that having a lot of stationery work has become one of the challenges that most of the customers, people are having, because you need to be able to get books for your kids, and we all know how difficult it is to get stationery for your kids who are going to school, even for yourself and things that you want to buy. So I would say that coming onto ejasu.com, whether you are in Accra, you are in Tamale, or wherever you are, even if you are in Accra, you are in the office and you don't want to go out to go look for items, you need to just log on to ejasu.com. That's edwaaso.com, and have go through our product catalog and see the products that you can buy, and we'll assure you of superior customer experience from buying the items all the way to receiving the item at your doorstep. Lastly, I would just say that we offer different payment models. Okay, we offer 50% upfront, and then you pay the rest on delivery. Then we also offer payment in full via mobile money and all the cards that are available. So you can buy internationally, you can buy locally, and we'll still deliver to you wherever you are. Ken.
Thank you very much, Tony. Much appreciated. So that was ejasu.com. So many things, a whole marketplace. And while you were speaking, Andrew Safo made a comment. He said, I think VR and AR will pose a challenge to tourism. So I'd like Freda to talk a little bit about that, and then tell us what makes Arts Africa stand out as a platform for purchasing art. Freda?
Yes. So whether we like it or not, we are going into the future. PR, AR will be the next thing, and so it's better we cue in into gaining from that rather than sitting back and watching. Right now, when I was doing research on this thing abroad, you can go to a shop, a bridal shop, and check it out without being there, and fix the bridal dress without it even being there. So it's changing the game of e-commerce. So whether we like it or not, yes, it's meant to pose a challenge that people will not have to travel, but it's the new age, and we have to move with it.
Thank you very much. So tell us about Arts Africa and what makes you outstanding as a platform.
Yeah, so that's, but then it can take the place of actually physical interaction with people. It can't. But then this is a cheaper form of immersing yourself in Africanness, in African culture, in African art and craft. So rather than coming down $2,000 for flight and let's work.
Okay, sure about that. Okay, yeah, that's fine, Frida. It's okay. Thank you so much. So this is the Arts Africa platform. You can check it out, artsafrica.com. And Tony earlier spoke about ejoaso.com. I'm doing well with my pronunciations, right? And,
yeah, I think so.
So he earlier talked about ejoaso.com. You can visit the sites and learn more about what is happening in the area of e-commerce and generally digitalizing your business. And I asked a question earlier, the difference between digitize and digitalize. So if you are in the audience, I'd like you to just post an answer, a response to that question. Digitize and digitalize. What is the difference? Maybe we have a gift for the first few answers. I'll ask my sponsors, Ejoaso and Arts Africa, for a gift. All right, thank you. It's been an interesting discussion today. I'll just stop sharing my screen. Thank you for joining us. There's much more to say, but we have to respect the time. And for those who joined online, very much appreciated. At least I noticed Eben, Senam, Lindsay, Godfred, Andrew, Derek, and so on and so forth. This video will be available on our YouTube channel for reviews, for repeat views rather, as well as on LinkedIn, Facebook. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll do more of this, and thank you, George. George says, proud of you, Tony and Freda. Thank you very much for that feedback. So this is the end of today's discussion. I'll just take 1 minute each of final words from Freda and Tony, and then we'll close it out. Freda first, before your network goes out.
Yeah, so Arts Africa seeks to become the one-stop shop to make everything easy in the space of art and craft. And we're looking forward to partnerships and vendors signing up. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Tony?
Okay, Ken. So before I speak to my final words, I've just posted to you a discount voucher for 5% on any item that is bought on Ejoaso. So this discount voucher can be used. The name of the voucher is Ken Iggy 2021, and this can be used on the platform. So what we are saying is that on Ejoaso, we're able to do a lot of things: create loyalty, create discount vouchers, create things that can make any business who is working with us, delight their customers. If you want to do gifts and specific promos to specific clients, and I'm talking about clients that are both local and international, you can do that, through ejasu.com. And our platform is very robust. It can handle all types of loyalty, promotions, items. So we are looking forward to doing business with you. And to our customers out there, watch out for more discounts, more promotions, more valuable products that you are looking for. If you need a product that you cannot find on Ejasu, you can just send us even an email, or even go onto our platform. Once you log onto our platform, you have a survey. You can put any product that you need over there, and we would get the product on board for you to be able to purchase. So thank you for listening to us. We look forward to engaging more digitally and transforming Africa to become what it is.
Thank you very much, Tony. So I think I can post this voucher right now, right? The first how many people? We can.
No,
the
first it's not about first.
Is limited. It's limitless. So I'm posting a limitless voucher. Should I post this voucher? A limitless voucher for ejasu.com. Be the first to use it. So if you can see it, just visit ejasu.com and use the voucher Ken Igi 2021. Thank you very much, Tony Fesu, for that. That is awesome. Thank you also, Freda Tanyo. Thank you for speaking with us today. Thank you, Tony. And it's been awesome having you. If you like this video, if you like the content, do share it with your friends. Do give us some feedback in the form of comments, and we'll be back next week with the big one. The big one is coming. So next week we are back here with the Africa discussion. Thank you very much for listening. Bye. So we're going offline.